Hi everybody. I am often asked how to mix greens. Greens cause lots of problems for painters, especially in watercolour. So I'm just going to do a quick brief on how to mix successful greens, and you can use the same theory in acrylic as well as in watercolour. Okay, so in a palette you may have 3 or 4 yellows. You may have 3 or 4 greens, several blues, and really you only need a few of those to mix your greens. If you have your greens in your palette here, it's often best not to mix to use them directly from the pan. I'm just going to move. No, I'll leave it here actually. So this here is a sap green. This I think is like a win. Oh no, that's a more viridian. No, that's an emerald. And then we've got probably a Windsor green. And then we've got, that should be in there. Oh, it's a bit dirty actually. Another green. They're all quite nice greens, but some of them can be a bit strong in colour. There's often an olive, there's a viridian, but the best thing to do is to mix greens. So here I've got a cadmium yellow. I'm just going to put that over here. So we've got a cadmium yellow, nice, lovely yellow. I'm going to use clean water so I get nice bright colours. Cadmium yellow and a little bit of ultramarine. I'm going to sit the ultramarine over here, and I'm going to pick up one small dot of ultramarine. I'm just going to mix it into my yellow, and you can see that's into your cadmium yellow, and then you get this acid, quite an acid colour. Another dot of blue into that green, mix, slightly darker, and again into that mix and slightly darker. So you can see that the greens that you're generating just from those two colours are quite interesting. So that's cadmium yellow and ultramarine. So let's try now a lemon yellow so you can see the difference. So this is a lemon. Now lemon yellow is very acidic in colour. So we get the lemon yellow. This is comes straight out of a tube and has gone hard, so I'm having to work it quite hard to get. So you can see it's quite acidic. So we're going to use the same blue, the ultramarine over here. Again, put it to one side so you can add it slowly. So not too wet a brush because your paint's already wet. And one dot into that yellow. Lovely green. Another dot. Slightly darker, and another dot. Slightly darker. Beautiful greens. So it just shows you don't need to have these pre-mixed greens here. And you can change them so you get slightly more colder greens. These greens are more suited for spring colours, whereas the use of the cadmium, because it's a warmer yellow, will give you greens that are more suited to summer time for foliage and things like that. Now I've got what is called a gamboge yellow here, which is another common yellow, and you can see it's really goldy. It's between it's a much richer cadmium yellow. And I'm going to do again, I'm just going to use the ultramarine to one side, so a touch more water in there. So one dot of ultramarine into your gamboge yellow, and you've got that colour. Another dot, slightly darker, another dot, and that is just using your ultramarine. And with that, we've got 3 different yellows. We've got the cadmium yellow, the lemon yellow, and the gamboge yellow. That's just with ultramarine. We've now got 9 different greens to work with, as well as what's in our palette. So in the same way, you can take any one of the pre-mixed greens. So let's take that sap tone that I had. I'll put it up here now. Add a bit of water to it because it's very strong, as you can see. And we're going to work the opposite way, really. We're going to take the cadmium, we're going to put that to one side, touch of water into it, and then we're just going to add 1 blob of that to this yellow, this green. So this is with the addition of 1 more blob to this green. And you can see it's very strong. So in this instance, probably what I do is take up 2 or 3 more blobs of that yellow, so it starts knocking it back a little bit quicker. But you can see already that the green that's created is very different to the original colour. It's just livened it up a bit. Let's go for this viridian tone here. Let's take the viridian and we'll add 1 blob, take some more yellow, 1 blob of yellow into it. This is cadmium yellow, nice big blob. Oh, I'm putting it next to the wrong, that should be there. So you can see that it's knocking it back quite a lot and making it a much more interesting. That's the viridian here with a bit of cadmium yellow into it. Okay, so just have a bit of fun mixing some greens. Use your range of blues. You've got cerulean blue, ultramarine, indigo, and cobalt blue to play with as well. And there's also things like yellow ochre, and there's raw sienna, which is a sort of a brown sitting on the yellow side. So you can play with those as well. So not only can you use your range of greens, but you can use your range of blues and your range of yellows and end up with hundreds and hundreds of greens. But the most important tip is not to necessarily use the greens straight out of the palette. They tend to be too strong. Okay, hope that's helped. Please subscribe and leave any comments in the comments box below. Thanks very much. See you again soon.